And we are live here to chat about tonight's episode of Arrow, which is entitled You Have Saved this City, appropriately named. And it was the season/series finale, depending on who you ask, of season 7, episode 22, aka the episode Felicity Last. It's very poetic and sad, but well-timed because the show was ending. I know we've all talked about this, but there's 10 more episodes and sort of a final farewell season type of situation. But it's not a full season. It doesn't have the full cast. I'm not sure which creative minds will be involved in it, but the cast and crew all made the decision to end the show. It wasn't, I guess, technically canceled, but anyways, Felicity left. And so we've had this future and present building up to that, knowing that she would leave in some way. We know bits and pieces going into this episode about the in-between. We knew that she was involved as somewhat of a single mother, I guess, raising Mia, that William's grandparents kept him from being around. And she continued with her vigilante work. So we know she doesn't die going into the future. We did not know if she would die in the future when she exited. They could have killed her in the future when she left. And we didn't necessarily know the circumstances under which she sort of had to function by herself. Although most of us kind of could fill in the blanks that Oliver had to leave to go save the world, right? And we didn't know for sure if Oliver was dead, which is still sort of unclear. He was whisked away by Galaxy Brain guy. Monitor, I think is his name, right? I'm trying to use real names. And he had made a deal prior to that in the crossover that he was going to do this to save everyone, including Felicity and his kid, save everyone's life. So he does. And then we end the episode, spoilers, with Felicity getting whisked away by Galaxy Guy to go reunite with him. So let's see, now that you're all caught up to speed, what you all think of it. Stormy says, I'm a mess of tears. Lisa sends a bunch of crying emojis. Bruno says, OMG, I'm a mess of tears too. Lindsay Jean says, first 40 minutes, 3 out of 5. The last 20 minutes, 5 out of 5. They actually gave me what I wanted for Felicity. Stormy agrees the last 20 minutes were a 5 out of 5. Kate says, last 20 minutes were a 10 out of 5. Don't question the math. And Lisa says 5 out of 5 definitely for the last 20. 3.5 for the first 40. I think everybody's math adds up perfectly. I quite agree. I liked the ending. I liked the way it was executed, and I liked the concept behind it. They didn't try too hard to go with some sort of let's shock everyone. Let me cover up my Wonder Woman robe with my messy hair. They didn't try to shock everyone with like, you never guessed this. Surprise, we ended up killing Oliver in the future. You know, just something like just kind of, they didn't have any premise for it, and that's why it's shocking. They gave everyone not necessarily a happy ending, but a reasonable ending where they could complete their task, do their job, do what they function best doing. So Felicity got to continue being a mother. She got to continue being a vigilante. She got to continue being a tech entrepreneur. She got to continue all of that up until her tech fulfilled its duty. Her kids were raised and safe and off now being vigilantes and fugitives themselves. And then she was reunited with Oliver, at which point she could probably keep trying to save the universe, because that's what he's doing from up there, and she's as good or better than him at that sort of stuff. Anyways, Lisa says Emiko was definitely a waste. Lindsay Jean says Emilio was such a waste of time. Emiko was such a waste, and I feel terrible saying that because I think they put like both the actress playing Emiko, certainly, and also those involved in writing her, I think they put a lot of effort into trying to make that be a good story, and I really think they landed at something, and it was just the wrong time and the wrong place. And they were never really able to build up a good enough motive for her. So they ended up going full evil, not relatable motive type of thing, which is fine. But that course correction didn't come soon enough to sell. So we have Oliver and everybody trying to save her, but it's not that she's not even savable, it's that she's got no logical reason to truly be mad at him. She's got logical reasons to be mad at other people, which makes her not a great villain for him. Whereas there's plenty of people in this world with plenty of reason to be horribly mad at Oliver, who could pick bones over this person died, and that, you know, whatever, that's directly the result of him. So the fact that she wasn't directly tied to him, and they tried so hard to make her seem tied to him, and, oh, I just wanted to be queen, whatever, and really it was his father's issue, and not one of his father's issues that he's really ever been involved in. So it felt so unrelated. That's what really brought it down. And it brought down this episode as well, despite the fact they did a great job with fight scenes. They really tried to build the emotion, and again, everybody put in a really great performance, like a finale style performance, but the setup wasn't there. And we can backtrack back to what caused all this setup to fail. So it started with a villain being forced onto this season that the creative heads behind the season never signed up for. And that villain then coming with a team, again, forced onto the season. Team didn't sell, villain didn't sell. Both of them were weakest links from past seasons, should never have been kept onto this season. That had to continue for a full half season, and then we're left with this final half where we have this concept of like a family villain for Oliver, who is now a family man. But whereas otherwise we would have had a whole season to work out the kinks, and we could have had, you know, our little stint of, let's try to save Emiko. Oh wait, Emiko's evil, and let's build a full reason and rationale behind her being evil and turn her into somewhat of a Merlin style character. We never quite got there because we never had enough time, because we only had half of the season and so many kinks to work out. So that is really the root of the failure, in addition to it being probably not the concept for season 7. Let's see. Lindsay says there was no need to bring Curtis either. I agree. I mean, it was a nice little nod of like, oh, you know, he's engaged and happy and so on in the future, but having him be the sort of like tech support just felt as unnecessary as it always felt when he was there before. Curtis could have always been such a well-executed character, especially with this network, especially at the time that he came on. They really could have built, you know, a really hardware-focused, hardware techie sort of focused scale around him. He could have been the, you know, Felicity's the brains and he could have been the brawn. She's sort of the software, and he could have materialized, you know, her inventions, and they could have been a great partnership that way. And then as a separate character, he also could have, you know, like outside of being a superhero, he was set up so well to become one half of a really interesting romance at many points, and they never really went there, which was unfortunate, especially with him being a gay character. You know, they go ham on every other possible romance and then undersell his. So that was unfortunate. Stormy says Emiko just wasn't good. Her reason for hating Oliver being so evil was weak. Oliver was a better brother to her than she deserved. Yeah, I agree. And Oliver was never her brother. It's also the thing. Oliver is more of a brother to anybody else on the team. Biologically, he's half brother to her, but at this point in the show, it's become abundantly clear to everyone that, you know, being biologically related is not family. You choose your family, and that was kind of the whole point of this team. So having him be so tied up in the fact that she was half related to him, having her be so tied up in that, just felt not true to what we had learned and set up so far in this show. Let's see. Lisa says, yeah, I don't have a clue why Curtis is there. Kate says, a big part of Emiko's failure is how rushed parts of her story were while other parts were dragged on. Absolutely agree. Felicity raised me and looked out for William. When they got to be adults, she got to go reunite with Oliver. Yes. Lindsay says, as was with Dinah and Renee, man, newbies never recovered for me. Should have stuck with the Diggle, Bronze Tiger, and Ray thing. I agree. And there were some other options, really, that they could, you know, if they're going to spend this much time into trying to recoup a character, we could have recouped Evelyn. We could have brought back Sin. I mean, there were many other characters that really had the potential to sort of go through a recoup and revamp and retell sort of cycle. Let's see. Stormy says, I agree, Cammy. They had to deal with Diaz, which wasn't the new writing team's fault. Maybe a full season with Emiko could have been at least okay. I think a full season with Emiko with bits and pieces of her, little bits throughout the first half of the season, just sort of introducing her concept, and they would have had more time to play with it, work out the kinks themselves, also start to gauge audience reaction and realize what people did and did not like about her. I liked, for example, the idea of a female villain. I like the idea of a female villain who does not warm up to Oliver at any point, who does not, you know, buy into his whole heroism, who can kind of get under his skin, and who is fully evil and willing to go after his family. Love the idea. Fully sold. Absolutely there for it. Didn't love the idea of that villain's tie to him being through his father, overexhausted, have them be personally against him, his mission, his family, his everything. Didn't love the idea of her being illogical or crazy, and everything about her was, to be fair, kind of illogical and crazy. Like, she's going after Oliver because of something his dead dad did that he had nothing to do with. So I didn't love that. I want there to be logic to it. I want her to have a reason to hate him. Have us really question Oliver. There's plenty of things he's done that could have really had us go, ooh, the villain has a point. Like, we'll kind of defend him, but like we see where they're coming from. That's a good villain. Emiko never got there. Emiko made me be like, okay, I regretfully have to defend Oliver because the million things that I would like to hold against him, you have nothing against, and you're going after his father instead, and he's dead. So, you know, Stormy says Barry Allen will never be worth Oliver's life with his family. I do hate him. Yeah, Oliver sacrifices too much for other people who don't matter, but he did sacrifice this to save Felicity and Mia as well, and William and the team. Magical Slurpee says, why can't the universe let Oliver be happy, SMH? I'm wondering if once Felicity gets up there, she and Oliver don't find a way to come back for the actual series finale in 10 episodes. Lisa says, I still haven't figured out how they're going to merge the multiverses. Yeah, I mean, however that's done, it's going to be very Barry-centric, which is frustrating because everything involving him is. Man, The Flash has been bad this season, by the way. Would not be an episode of Arrow Fans React if I didn't complain about The Flash. So let me just say, The Flash has been terrible this season. Lisa says, so we'll have aliens metas and blue pill metas. Stormy says, Barry better lose just as much as Oliver. I'm going to be pissed. I'm expecting to be mad because Barry is forever coddled. Barry is forever coddled. And Barry's a terrible father, by the way. Like, he has his moments, but dear God, he put his daughter in jail. Like, can you calm down? Like, you broke out of jail. What has she done that's anywhere near as bad as what you've ever done? Like, anyways. Matt Shamlou says, I actually teared up when Novu arrived and told them Ollie would die. Yeah. The scene of Oliver saying goodbye to Felicity, and she says that she'll find him again, which of course she will. And then the scene of him very briefly saying goodbye to his daughter when she's like in the crib. That was really sad. Aww. Matt Shamlou says, knew it would happen, but just had a 7-year flashback. Magical Slurpee says, Cicada's just a really bad villain. So many ways Barry could just defeat him, no problemo. Strongly agree. Yeah, the only thing I really, I guess, don't like about tonight's ending is that we didn't get to see Oliver and Felicity reunite, and they didn't get to also be with their kids, or at least briefly see their kids. You know, like Oliver meets her at the portal and says goodbye to their kids together. Something like that could have been kind of nice. A bit of a stretch, but they could have made it happen. It's a superhero show. I suspect they'll have something like that in the next 10 episodes, which I'll watch because it includes William and Mia. Most importantly, because it contains Diggle's kids. Bronze Tiger's son and JJ, Connor and JJ. Would absolutely watch a spinoff about them as well. Matt says, I thought they rushed the Mark of 4 scene too fast. Everything about the, like, Mark of 4 tattoo thing, they should have started to reveal it earlier rather than try to create this big mystery and then we're just going to give you, like, bits and pieces and then save it all till the end. They should have revealed it a little bit sooner and not held all their cards till the end. Holding everything as a mystery to the end just so you can sort of have a lot revealed in the finale episode, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's great pacing. I know it's not great pacing. You have to reveal things as you go, and you have to tell stories as you go, and not all ends are going to align perfectly. Stormy says, I hope Oliver gets to see his kids again with Felicity. I do too. I hope he gets to in the next 10 episodes. Brian Perez says maybe they're saving the Felicity reunion for the series finale. You mean this wasn't the series finale? I'm kidding. Yes, that's very true. Matt Shamlu says, since Ollie's going off with Novu, do you think season 8 will be strictly flash forward until Crisis? Matt Shamlu, yes, I would love it. Do I think it's going to? No. Would I love that? Yes. I do not want to see 1 second of present day in the final 10 episodes. I only want to see the future. I care about Mia, William, Connor, JJ, slightly Alina as like that anti-hero-y weird aunt. Not really Renee. Zoe can stay. Dinah's been hit or miss, more miss than hit lately, but she's going to be there regardless, no matter what I say. Diggle, I would love to see him in the future along with his sons. Lila, if she's around, question mark, suspect she's not. Suspect Diggle and Dinah are a thing in the future. No one asked, but there you go. There's my suspicion. Stormy says the Mark of 4 doesn't even make sense because the team didn't stay close. Yeah, they kind of wrote themselves into the little corner and they're like, well, guess we're dying in this stitch, huh? Anyways, the moral of the story is I would very, very much like these next 10 episodes to be all flash forward. I would love that. I have kept you guys over time, I believe. Let me check how long I've kept you. Yeah. Kept going and did not stop to even ask for your ratings, but you gave your ratings, so thank you for that. Normally, I end this by saying, what would you like to see moving forward? But we kind of already started to touch on that with the whole, like, we want the next half of next half season. I guess it's not even a full half season. The slightly less than a half season goodbye, farewell, handful collection of episodes. We want those to be mostly flash forward. Sounds like most of you guys agreed. So is there anything else you would like to see in that flash forward bit / final 10 episodes? Lindsay says, this really paralleled the season 3 finale. Ooh. Interesting. Yes, kind of. Stormy says, since Bronze Tiger's alive, how did Connor come to be with Diggle? I would love to see how that happens. That's a great question. Lisa says, I think we'll find out next season. Lisa lists Mia, William, Connor, JJ, Zoe with Dig and Alina supervising. A great combination. Love it. All for it. Well, we are at 10:30, so I gotta let you guys go. But thank you so much for joining me for this final real episode of Arrow. I have so enjoyed talking to you guys about this. Back when this was me chatting on some random app called Smile Time was what I believe I started this as. And then I moved to Poppin, and then eventually I was willing to do lives on YouTube, and you all kind of stuck with me and chatted with me after the episode, and it's always felt really fun. It feels like ranting to your friends about TV in real life after watching an episode on the couch together, but you're on your couch and I'm on mine. So thank you. You've made this show a lot more fun. And I will see you next season because I'm still going to be here even if we only get bits and pieces of Felicity and a scrap of her DNA in someone. Talk to you guys later.